Joining us on TVC News at 10. We are staying with the clarification of a public conversation on the number of delegates from Nigeria attending the ongoing climate summit in Dubai. Now, after that discussion went viral online, the federal government is saying it only funded 422 persons to COP28 and not 1,411 as speculated. And these are the breakdown. National Council on Climate Change with 32 people. The Federal Ministry of Environment with 34. All ministries had 167, while the presidency had 67 people. Office of the Vice President had 9. National Assembly 40. Federal parastatals and agencies 73. And the number of information and the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says the federal government's clarity is in line with a standing pledge to conduct itself with transparency and accessibility regarding public information. The government is of the view that COP28 presents an array of investment and partnership opportunities for the various sectors affected by climate change, and Nigeria is already benefiting from its ongoing participation. Still talking climate change, multiple African governments have justified their decision to send substantial delegations to the COP28 climate conference in Dubai, despite facing widespread criticism. According to the UN's attendance lists, Nigeria, Morocco, Kenya, Tanzania, Ghana and Uganda were among the nations with the largest teams. Responding to the criticism, representatives from Nigeria and Kenya clarified that a significant portion of the delegations comprise individuals representing the media, civil society organizations, and private institutions who were not publicly funded. Both countries also emphasized that some listed delegates were participating remotely. Now, for more on this development, let's speak with a former media aide to President Goodluck Jonathan, Renom, Omokri, who joins us live via Zoom from the United Kingdom. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10. Well, we have read your post and we have seen your strong stance condemning media reports of the bogus delegate. What's your new stance with the federal government clarifying the number?
Well, I did say that anybody who believed that story is a person of below average intelligence. Sahara reporters who broke that story are a notoriously dishonest media. And it was followed by other, famously dishonest media, Arise TV for one, and other people. Look, I went on the website for COP28. I did it online. The story went viral. I went there and I registered today as a delegate. Registration is very easy. And anybody, you can take me on, you can actually go there and register. So now Nigeria doesn't just have 1,411 delegates, we now have +1, me. But I'm not going to go. And I'm a private citizen. What they do is that when you register, they ask you to produce your passport of nationality. And when you produce that, your passport of nationality, what happens is that you are now included as a delegate from the country whose passport you hold. So it was patently, dishonest for Sahara reporters to. If you look at what Sahara reporters said, they said that presidency funds 1,411 people with public funds. And then for a presidential candidate like Peter Obi to have jumped on that bandwagon, it only shows just his level of intelligence. Because why would you believe that a government would pay for 1,411 people to go on a conference like that? I was a presidential spokesman for 5 years, or rather for 4 years. Before any of these conferences, the presidency writes through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they write to several businesses, organized private sector, non-governmental organizations, youth groups, all kinds of people to see how many people in Nigeria will be interested to go. It doesn't mean that you're going to fund them. So, the government's, would I say, their rebuttal, it's in order. I still think 422 was pretty large. I think that, given Nigeria's state of affairs now, we could have gone with a much smaller delegation. But that story was patently dishonest.
Okay, then, looking at this figure that's been bandied, are you saying that the other people who were on that delegation are all self-sponsored? And how exactly do you think they found their way there?
No, you see, like when you're having a conference of such nature, for instance, when you had the World Cup in Russia, you didn't even need a visa. If you registered for the World Cup, you got a ticket, that ticket served automatically as your visa. So when you are holding a conference like that, you have protocols that you sign with the United Nations where you temporarily lift travel restrictions to your country. So people who register, for instance, you got people like the chairman of UBA, you had people like the chairman of BUA, they went with several delegations, you had non-governmental organizations, you also had some entertainers, some, would I say, Nollywood people. I mean, if common sense would dictate that those people are private individuals, they would have paid their way. Now, it's going to be an invasion in their privacy to start saying, show us proof that you paid your way. But you can request from your government that how many people, because there's a freedom of information law, which our administration signed into law, you can request from your government, and the government has, in response to that, declared that, okay, we only sponsored 422 people. But here is the thing. Sahara Reporters reported that the presidency funded 1,411 people. They lied. Peter Obi jumped on that bandwagon. Now, if you look at Peter Obi, for instance, I mean, this is one in a series of many, would I say, almost hypocrisies that this man engages in. For example, a month ago, two brothers, Chinedu and Umama, were burned to death in Onitsha, where he comes from. Peter Obi did not condemn that. But last year, 12th of May, 2022, one person was burned in Sokoto, Deborah Samuels, and immediately within hours, Peter Obi, he just condemned that.
Well, Mr. Omokri, yeah. we'll get to take some reactions regarding Mr. Obi in a moment. But let's talk about this process of registering. You mentioned that you registered, although you didn't get to attend, but just to prove to the people, what really is the process?
I sent the video over to your, let's say your studio, so probably you could play it as we're speaking. But you just go on the website, it's very easy. If you don't know the website, just go on Google and type in register for COP28, and then you go on the website, right there, slapdash on the website, you're going to see a link, register for COP28. You click on it, you put your name, you put your organization, you put who you're representing, and then the two most important questions, they're going to ask you your country of residence and then your country of nationality. You put whatever it is, and then if the country of nationality, immediately you put that, you're going to be added as a tally to that country. So for instance, if you had, like maybe today, because don't forget that COP28 has not really begun. What you've been having all this while are just speeches by heads of state. The real COP28 is going to take place between the 7th and the 8th of December. So even you, Abosede, if you go right now and you register, you're going to be added to Nigeria's tally. It's that simple.
But then the individual will be recognized as representing the country where they actually reside. Let's talk about...
No. You're not going to be recognized as representing the country. You're going to be a delegate from Nigeria. You will be representing like maybe whatever organization you put there. So for instance now, maybe you are going there with somebody like Abdul Samad Rabiu. So you're going to be a delegate from Nigeria representing BUA. Maybe you're going there as somebody from SERAP. SERAP is a very popular, well-known non-governmental organization. You're going to be a delegate from Nigeria representing SERAP. So all of those 1,411 delegates from Nigeria, they are not all representing the federal government of Nigeria. Many of them are representing, in fact, most of them are representing private organizations, non-governmental organizations, and then also maybe like bodies, youth groups, associations, professional bodies, and stuff like that.
All right. Now, in the midst of this, the Labour Party presidential candidate in the last election, Peter Obi, actually likened Nigeria to China. What's your reaction to that?
I mean, it just shows ignorance. It shows ignorance of how COP28 operates. And then this is a serious question on his ability to govern a complicated and a complex country like Nigeria. Because if you do not understand the difference between a delegate and somebody representing Nigeria, then how can you govern this country? I mean, this is a man, like I said before, just last week he was condemning the Lagos state government for demolishing houses that were blocking waterways, drainages and canals. Does he want Lagos to be flooded? And then imagine this. Last year, Anambra State, where he's from, also demolished buildings. He said nothing about that. And even more hypocritical, while he was governor, he personally led bulldozers and wrecking balls to demolish homes. In this case, the governor of Lagos did not go by himself. The governor of Lagos, he did that through the Federal Housing Authority. And this is a man who went there and there was demolition as governor. And then he's now condemning another governor or other government doing that. So the point I'm trying to make is that Peter Obi showed ignorance. He showed that he does not understand how government works, how international affairs work. And a person like that is not well equipped to be president of Nigeria, in my humble opinion.
And well, that's your opinion, and you have mentioned it. But then, irrespective of the figure, which has actually led to controversies regarding Nigeria's delegates to COP28, can we look forward to a possible gain of this large delegation, as argued by Nigeria and Kenya?
Listen, if you are going to COP28, you see, some people say that the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. Now, for COP27, the last one, countries that attended, they walked away with about $150 billion worth of investment. You can Google it. So you're not just going there to talk about the climate. You're going there to also sign deals. A lot of countries are right now shifting away from fossil fuel. So a country like Nigeria that is highly dependent on oil and gas for her foreign exchange earnings has to be able to convince the world that, listen, you know what, there's a way that we can have, well, I say, clean energy with oil and gas. And that's going to be at the COP28. For example, the president of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, signed a deal with Chancellor Olaf of Germany and with other governments. And it's not just that, that's on a governmental level. You're going to have people like maybe BUA, UBA, and then other, will I say, other members of the organized private sector signing deals. So that's how you want to think. You want to think big. The reason why you're going there is not because you just want to go and take photos. You want to go there and then meet people who are able to bring foreign direct investments to your country.
All right, then. Thank you very much for joining us. Former media aide to President Goodluck Jonathan, Renom Omokri. Thank you for your time on TVC News at 10.
And thank you for having me. God bless you.
You're watching TVC News at 10. We'll be back with more stories after this break. Please stay with us.